gas masks, fire starter kits, high-capacity magazines, chemical suits, military surplus items, and much more. Do you own a firearm? MainMilitary.com has a large selection of pistols and rifles suited for your needs. Are your local stores sold out of ammunition? Call or visit them today for prices on hard-to-find ammo and bulk ammo orders. You don't need to worry about having a military surplus store in your area because MainMilitary.com is the only store you'll ever need, all from the comfort of your computer. Visit them online today at MainMilitary.com. That's Maine, like the state, military.com.
Liberty's Guardian, Guns and Ammunition, a family-owned business located in the heart of Ohio's Huntington. Let us help you find the right shotgun or rifle for you. Or if you're looking for a pistol or concealed carry, we have a nice selection of compact and subcompact pistols for that too. Check out our website at www.libertiesguardian.com. That website again is www.libertiesguardian.com. Go to the website and check out our selection today.
And good, excuse me, afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first hour of the afternoon intelligence report. I'm Mark Cornke. One day closer to victory for all of our brothers and sisters, both on and behind the lines in occupied territories, Southwest, East, Northeast, and Central. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to us on Libertytreeradio.4mg.com, Liberty Tree Radio on YouTube, live stream, and we are on AM and FM micro stations, AM and FM conventional stations, CB-based stations, and Ultra-Net Hallmark and Golden Spike technologies east and west of the Mississippi, along with Alaska. Good afternoon to all of our friends out there in the lower 49, including the great state of Jefferson and CONUS. Normally we'd say 48, but we got the state of Jefferson there, remember? And, of course, the outlying two states, the territories, and the clock. It is 5:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just switched to 5:08, clock flip. It is Monday. It is the 16th of November. It is the 12th year of open Fabian Socialist and Soviet Socialist occupation of America with a K 2020 Old Earth calendar. 2020 year of conflict, year of deception, betrayal, and treason, but what the hell, it's nothing new for the district of criminals and the globalist turds that we have in the Republican and Democrat side, right? And, of course, battle for the Republic, dance of swords. And nothing has changed over the last 3 days, since Friday evening, except good time over the weekend. I understand we had an injury at Camp Fox, but because we have medical units attached, we had somebody that did a boo-boo jumping out of the back of a pickup truck. Initially, the suspicion was there might be a break. It turns out that because we have pretty much a walking hospital up there, 3 of the facilities have actually everything we need for a conventional Ford field hospital, better than a MASH. So the medical personnel that were there, guess who was up there? Yeah, the crew from down this neck of the woods. And everybody was on site. They evacuated the person in moments, I understand. As soon as he fell, the unit was practicing fast deployment off of vehicles, and the medical units were already lined up in column, with the motion. So they simply scarfed the guy right up, evac'd back to the rear, so they didn't retard the exercise. In fact, they performed their part of the exercise exactly as would be expected, but with a real process. So they actually got a chance to practice. The x-ray machine showed no break, bruised and boo-booed and obviously gimping around, but apparently it happened Friday evening, and the participant relaxed, went over and worked in the micro broadcasting station, which I guess would make you go, well, I can play over here. Why go out there and run around in the rain and the cold? But by Sunday, was up and around and was back in the field with the troops. So congratulations. You guys all did a great job, I understand. I want to say thank you to Doc and the crew and also the medevac people, because it was boom, 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 how it should be. So this is what we are preparing for, a situation. Of course, now it's going to be repeated, and it's not going to be pretty. Fortunately, no blood, guts, gore, and killing, but in this case, folded, spindled, and a little mutilated, but not torn. So that's a good plus situation. Everybody did their part. I understand that we also had friends from southern Illinois. This unit's been up a couple of times. This is, I think, the 4th time here before the end of the year. And they went back home with a whole bunch of gifts from our logistics personnel up there in that neck of the woods, because we've got a surplus ally who is handing away excess material. He stuff that he had purchased over a period of years, and they went through, picked out, what it was that was useful for their unit, mostly rubber boots and rain gear. And now it's in the hands of somebody that'll use it, especially for new recruits who don't have anything. So I want to say thank you also to our surplus providers, don't need to say any more about that, but they've been doing this for quite a while. They actually have put out announcements, hey, we got this stuff from another warehouse we missed. Come over and get it. Anybody who wants it, carry it all away, carry some of it away. It doesn't make any difference, but let everybody else know. And typically 100% disappears within a pretty short period of time. So that was all gone this weekend, by the way. Everything's, that site is cleared out for the moment, but they've got pallets of stuff they're going through, and they'll probably have some more for you guys up north. Anyway, other stuff going on. Well, of course, we had the election tampering protests this weekend. And if you saw what happened in Washington, D.C., it's not a surprise, exactly what we expected. The monkey-poking cliff apes and knuckle draggers that you have in Washington, D.C., just like you do in Seattle anywhere else, were out there, and people were being picked off and attacked. And there were quite a few different versions of this. And, of course, as is usual, the cops made sure it happened. For the evil, patriots, they need to be, herded and corralled by the cops right towards the enemy. And this is something that some people have tried to downplay on the who were the marchers, because we got to protect the blue man. Well, the commie blue helped to make all of the injuries happen. So let's understand it was their fault. Period. People could have completely avoided the Antifa scum, but the cops herded people right into the conflict. Typical for these knuckle-dragging uniform punks, because they'll betray you every time. Well, I don't want to follow their orders, but I just got to follow their orders, which is exactly what they were doing there, people. If you watch one or two of the videos, I don't know if they've been pulled or not, where, the people are trying to avoid the conflict. Oh, the cops step right up there and explain that you can't do that. You got to go that way. Yeah, and did the cops jump in and stop all the little knuckle-dragging cliff apes and monkeys from doing anything? Oh, no. They made sure that they got a chance to beat up and beat down women, kids, multiply attack, one or two people with 15, 20, 30, 40, punks and, knuckle-dragging shoe-size IQ cliff apes. And the rest is history, as they say. Now, not a surprise, but one of the things that everybody needs to be thinking about is, again, let's not forget that you probably should work in numbers. And everybody seems to think that it's going to be right as rain. The cops are going to protect me. Blue line, man. Blue line. Oh, my God, I'm getting beat up. Wait, those cops are just standing there watching. They're just picking their nose and scratching their arse. They're just watching. How could this be? Blue lives matter, man. Blue lives. Oh, kicked in the head, and kicked in the head. Yeah. And then when you do defend yourself, boy, those cops are right there to protect those Antifa pigs every time. And that was caught on video several times, too. Yeah, when those Antifa pigs are attacking the women and somebody steps in to protect the women, why, then immediately it's a po Antifa and po black. Oh, po black man. Oh, yeah, po kill all the white people. And then the people who, of course, defended themselves are the criminals. Everybody see who the enemies are? You don't have just one, and you better start zeroing in on this thing. If you believe that the uniform punks are going to do anything for you other than betray you, you've got a problem. So until you see them pull the trigger, oh, I'm with you guys. Yeah, well, all of a sudden, the big feds showed up and they scared me, and I just had to go along with the enemy, and because they all told me that it's the global power thing. Yeah, that's what you're going to be seeing repeatedly. Don't be surprised by it. Get ready to fight the war on your own, and you should. That part of the mechanism isn't going to be any better for you or is going to be any more reliable than all the rest of the regime and mechanism and bureaucracy that has already utterly failed you repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Or we would not be where we are now, would we? Just a little heads up. Another thing. Okay. I've had a lot of people comment, and of course I stop them butt cold because, they all agree. Fox News, how long have I called Fox, F-O-X, F-A-U-X? People are picking up on that. I think that's cool. I hope they keep it up, Fox. Fox News, F-A-U-X? Oh, I mean Fox. How many years have I used that? Forever, to be quite honest. I've talked this way for a long time about F-A-U-X. But people have picked up on that. That's good. That was the idea. Throw it out there. If somebody else steals it, mimics it, who cares? As long as it keeps moving and you ridicule the enemy. Well, here's the thing. Here's what's fascinating. And several times, this happened today 3 times. But you're talking to somebody, it's like, so Fox News betrayed everybody. Yeah, Fox News is terrible. So would you say that was, planned? Yeah, it was planned. Okay, and Fox News, they're what? They're trying to lick the globalist rumpus? Or is it that they're owned by the globalist rumpus? You see, there's the problem. Now, I pointed out that with the scammers, the Jewish mob, they always have to have one fake conservative. And we had that, didn't we? You had Fox, F-A-U-X, that was playing as the conservative side. And then you had all the other commies, all the other communists, all the other hardcore frothing at the mouth communists, all the global communists that are globalists/communists, right? But Fox, they're the other group. They're different. But then people were seeing problems because they weren't being as consistent the last several months. And all of a sudden they went like anti-Trump and they went like they're with all the rest with CNN. Now, everybody agrees with that, right? Do you agree with that if you're listening right now? Now, does everybody agree with that? Yeah, Fox News, those bastards. Oh, Fox News this, Fox News that. I'm not listening to Fox News anymore. Well, let me ask you something. They only had the one. So if they only had the one, isn't that kind of an indication that the enemy figures they don't need that one anymore because they're going for full communism? Oh, everybody that I brought that up to, I watched the epiphany in their mind or eyes. And they went into the 1,000-yard stare because you go, oh, yep, those damn Fox people, yeah, Fox this, Fox that. Really? Okay, so that means that the enemy feels they don't need the charade anymore, that they've got the big game in motion, the plan. They're attacking you, and they can't afford to have the fake opposition even in place, do they? Smell the coffee, taste the coffee. Oh, yeah, and this is what I've been telling you about for many, many, many years. You will know when the attack is coming by the change in disposition of certain fake components. Over the last year, the Republicans have done nothing. They have sat on their hands. They have twiddled their thumbs. They have sucked their thumbs while sticking the other one up their bunghole. Somebody says switch, and without wiping off, because they don't have to, they pull the one out of the bunghole, pull the other one out of the face, and shift. And don't worry, it'll get clean when they suck enough on that one that was up the bunghole. It's now in the other orifice. And then when they tell them to shift again, they'll do it again. So this is rather fascinating. We have all these pieces that are, beyond a shadow of a doubt, will warn you that you are going to war. This is it. This, that diversion you're trying to ignore is the attack you have been expecting. That diversion you are trying to ignore is the attack you have been expecting. Right? I would say so. But anyway, Fox News is showing you, because FAUX. Now, here's another one. Well, Fox News, they should do what? This is like when all these fake-ass sports ops or operations, bread and circuses, which I refuse to watch, all got down on their knees. They sided with people who said they want to kill all the white people, hate you all, they want to murder America. And so this little clique of football team owners, all of these rats and turds, all these oi boys, all these yarmulke wearers, frothing at the mouth about how you all need to apologize, and they side with the people who want to execute you, who want to murder you, who want to kill you. So how are they going to fix that? Oh, next year they're not going to do the Black Lives Matter. Wait, shove it up your hind end, you pig. You've already told me who you're riding with. What, I'm going to forget by next year? These people have put money, resources, and time towards a group that has stated uncategorically they want to murder America, they want to kill your family, they want to execute you, they want you dead. You're not going to fix that with me or anybody that's got a brain. Maybe the lame and the idiot and the incompetent might, but they're not the majority. However, there's enough of them, I'm sure, that will, sports. Well, that's good. You'll be able to sort out and know who it is. It'll be the next one to betray you when the time comes. Because if I got my sports, as long as I got my sports and my beer. See, and that is what we're looking at. So, as it is, again, a reminder that the ones that did the sports thing, they showed their colors. Fox News is siding with the people who say they hate you, they want to murder you, they want to kill you. And Fox, F-A-U-X, well, Fox News was supposed to be that other group. But they aren't really, are they? No, they're not. Not at all. Prior pepper flooding prevents piss poor performance. We're done with those fools, too. So we have a lot of other work that can be done, but everybody needs to pitch in to make it happen, okay? And that means that we need to organize, arm, equip, and train as militia, establish a 510 program in your area of operation. But in addition to that, we also need to make sure we have communications, transportation, and medical in place, along with the rest of our tech in major mobilization with what's going on right now. We need to be prepared to deal with the problem. We know what the problem is. Excellent, as a matter of fact. Thank you. Before I go any farther here, I guess I have to mention that. Yeah, hold on. First of all, okay, Edward, I'll tell you what, we might do this. There was a Guns and Gadgets, let's see. It's the most recent one. It should be today, November 16th. Wow, already 54,000 hits. Good. Give it a thumbs up. Share. Ammo shortage update, if you could. Ed, let's play that. We're almost to the bottom anyway. Ammo shortage update over at Guns and Ammo. Or Guns and Ammo. Guns and Gadgets, well, which includes ammunition. Guns and Gadgets, and this is posted for today. Ammo shortage update. It's going to, throw a bunch of things in there that, are going to help you to understand some of the other stuff going on. I don't have a problem with everybody rushing and getting ammo, period. Any discussion otherwise, to me, is ridiculous, because all these people know that if the stuff is in the warehouse, when government turns the rest of the way, which, like I said, Fox News is gone. They don't need that one anymore. We'll be right back.
Time for an ammo update. Hey everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. If it's Second Amendment news you're after, you have found your home here on Guns and Gadgets, so please consider subscribing and joining this growing freedom family. Now, I get a lot of questions, as you might imagine, and I'm sure every other gun channel does as well. Where's all the ammo? When do you think it'll get back to normal? And you even see people commenting on different types of posts saying people stop paying this price because if you don't, then the market will never come back down to normal. Well, with a potential Joe Biden presidency, you're not going to see a normal again, is my prediction, at least for 4 to 8 years. But we do have one update that kind of gives us an idea of what to look forward to and what's going on with the ammo. So I actually just saw an article on Fox Business that said Vista Outdoors is behind by 1 year on orders for ammunition and over $1 billion in orders. And it's going to take them a long time to catch up. So Vista was reporting their quarterly earnings for the second quarter, and the CEO, whose name is Chris Metz, he detailed and announced what he said was an unprecedented backlog for Vista Outdoors. Guys and gals, they're going to make all those orders right before they have any excess going to the market. And they're not the only ones. I'll give you some quotes from Chris Metz here. He said, "We currently have a year's worth of back orders for ammunition in excess of $1 billion, with a demand for outstripping supply and inventory levels in the channel at all-time lows. We see strong demand continuing, and this metric informs our viewpoint of what a recovery or normalization could look like." Now, Vista, if you remember, they are the successful bidders for Remington Arms accessories and ammunition business, they spent $81.4 million to acquire that, and that is not enough to make a single dent in the ammunition backlog, even for this one company. So basically, the future is bleak as far as ammunition supply and ammunition costs, unfortunately. You might remember I've reported on other companies that were reporting huge backlogs as well. Some were purchasing millions of dollars in new equipment, and I have heard back from companies based off of those videos that they're running 24 hours a day, had extra people working the shifts, but the demand has been astronomical. It's never been seen like this before for a myriad of reasons. We have the presidential election year, which always causes an issue with ammunition. Last time, 4 years ago, you remember you couldn't find 22 caliber anywhere. Now you couple things like the COVID-19 issue, the civil unrest issue, the millions and millions of people who have decided to join the Second Amendment community in valuing their rights over the propaganda they've heard for decades. So that's a lot. I mean, that is a lot of people buying ammunition. Yes, you can still look out and find it places here or there, but I'm not like many people. Right now, I just can't seem to purchase a little item that used to cost 17 cents and is now going for $1 or more. I just can't do it. But I'm lucky that I have some magazines full. But I don't think we're going to see anything change for quite a while, folks. Just want to get that information out there for everybody because I get a lot of questions every day about what do I see happening in the ammunition area. Will it ever get back to normal? Now, a couple months ago, the target was like springtime next year. I doubt that's happening now, especially with the election results as they are at the moment. It's going to be a long time if we ever see those prices and that availability again. It's going to be a while. But figured I'd just put that out there. If you could all do me a favor and pass that along, I would greatly appreciate it because no matter where you're watching this, they don't want that information out. Trust me. So please thumbs up the video to crush the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment down below to help that as well. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon, and I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
All right. And thank you, Edward. Appreciate that. And that was the latest Guns and Gadgets. Now, he's not addressing any micro issues with regard to each relative component of the ammunition industry because there's the import section, there's internal manufacturing. Remember, component manufacturing is affected because if you need to, well, will you do the math? Uh-oh, a leather holster could what? And I'm responsible, and I'm a gun owner. Uh-oh, I want one of those holsters. A kayak holster? I didn't know we were advertising for them. For some reason. Oh, well, eventually we won't have that in the background. But I might as well let it talk, because I can't talk over it.
At Urban Carry Holsters, we molded a new class by combining the strengths of Kydex with the benefits of an elegant leather holster.
Oh, it's elegant. What? What?
Mock leather. It's like a mock frog.
Mock leather? We used to call it Naga.
If you took the bones out, it wouldn't be crunchy, would it?
Wouldn't we call it like Naga hide? Well, no, we can't call. We're not going
at the front door.
That's okay. We're finding out about mock leather. We decided to give it a name. What do you give it? Mock leather. Is it like leather? Well, it's kind of like a cross between pleather and Naugahyde. But, you know, the pleather thing went out, and it doesn't sound good with guns, so we decided to call it like mock leather. Oh, you mean it's Chip Squo's junk? Well, kind of. You know, like phenolic leather or something? Yeah, you know, it's like that cheapy stuff the Chinese made years ago that came in back in the 80s, and, you know, a lot of their junk was made out of it, and it was good enough for making stuff work, but it, you know, it was, well, yeah, kind of, yeah, mock leather. Anyway, well, it's cool. It must be good. I mean, it probably works. I'm not going to judge yet, but I'm thinking mock leather. I'll remember that term. I've heard it before. What am I talking about? Anyway, A couple of the things here. I am looking, okay, I need your help. I need your help. Now, this is something where I need it because of the people I'm helping, okay? Guys, I am looking for a bulk block of OD green pants. I don't care if they're Swedish. I don't care if they're Belgian. I don't care if they're Norwegian. I don't care if they're any older surplus. They'll probably be from the Cold War or post-Cold War, early or newer. I'm looking for cheap. I'm looking for $2, $3, $4 a pair, no more. I found I did make a deal on 1,400 OD green Dutch shirts and got those routed. 1,400 and whatever the odd number is of OD green shirts. I do not care what shade of green. That's not relevant anymore because the blouse that you're going to wear with the OD green you're going to use a smock over that. In other words, a modern camouflage cover jacket of whatever kind, and you look just fine. You green on the bottom, green in the green if you get exposed. But we're using especially the new ripstop stuff as like an assault smock. One of the things I made a deal on today, just got a sample of it. I wanted to see what they look like personally. Made a deal on an odd print. There were 22,000 of them available. The militias here bought them. Small to extra large. I now know what they look like. They're a good cut. They're actually good material. Some of the components are even American, which is amazing. But mostly it was American looking. It actually says this on the label. Kind of like mock leather. I was like, American looking. Okay. And so anyway, the Velcro's where it should be, all the stuff. But what we're doing is piss on trying to buy pants that cost 3-4 times what the battle blouses do. What we're looking for is a deal. I don't care if they are 4-pocket work pants, because these are fatigues. Pants are going to be worn out. Spending outrageous amounts of money on pants. If you want to buy some of the better battle pants that are out there, fantastic, go for it. I don't have a problem with that. But we're looking at issuing out to troops, and we're looking at getting dirty, and one pair of pants for $100 ain't going to make it, okay? We have laundry services planned. Everything else is in the works the way it should be, or at least a rotation. But I am looking for pants. Ideally, I'll tell you what, the Swedish one's most likely. But if you've got a surplus or an industrial outlet that is in your area and they have some kind of super deal, we will drive. I will have people going there and pick everything up that's there. What I need is the material. I've bought out 5 companies so far. This is the 5th one was, pretty well set today. And now that I saw what I was looking at, in fact, I was going to buy. I'm in competition with a bunch of other people doing the same thing. I was going to buy a bunch of the Slovakian blouses. They were $3 a piece. They were in excellent condition, though they were used. I've got a sample. Unfortunately, as soon as I got the sample, the close to 4,000 pieces were sold in a day. A big block came in who's building an army. And what they did is they bought it all, and they didn't buy it for resale, okay? So my other wholesale source has been good. They said, hey, don't worry. The guys who got these are, the kind of people that you want to have to get the stuff. So they're trying to placate people, too. It's kind of like he was saying about the ammunition. Look at it this way. If you had $1 billion in back orders, guys, wouldn't you fill those orders right away? If you was guaranteed, you know what that is, where you have guaranteed sales. You have people who have said, okay, you're in the pecking order. I want this no matter what. I have the money in hand. I need it as soon as I can. Get it to me, and you've got cash. Wouldn't you want to sell $1 billion worth of your product? I know I would. And don't you think they're trying real hard? I've heard people say, well, they're holding back. Don't you think they're trying real hard to make that $1 billion? I know I would. Seriously. And you know that you got to, here's the other thing about manufacturing. When you have a product and it is hot, you, by God, better crank out every piece you can, because there's no guarantee that glede is going to be hot, 3 months down the road. People get a little dampened by time, or they go brain dead, or they'll be in fear mode, because you got to remember, a lot of these are panty wastes out there. They're going to crap their drawers and defecate their spine and pee themselves, and then, beg for the New World Order to, put a bullet in their head while they're giving them a shot, that'll kill them, and please, what else can I do to be liquid toilet paper to lick your arse? There are a whole bunch of people out there like that. The thing is, we need to be ahead of the curve for those and get their guns and ammo from them so that they can feel safe. Okay, that's especially critical. Got to be ready for that, guys, because when it happens, I don't have a problem with it at all. I told you before, we got it out of the warehouse. Go ahead, Ed. Uh-oh. We had Ed there. I heard a voice.
Can you hear me?
There we go. We got you.
Is that better? Okay. Got a little echo on my end here. I don't know if you've been hearing this up where you are, but we've heard it down here on the local news more than once. And, of course, it's more having to do with the BS election. But, if Trump doesn't turn over the briefings to Joe Biden, he may have to step up and force a lockdown before he becomes president to help stop COVID. Under what authority? Under
the president-elect office. There is no such thing as a president-elect office. Anybody catch that BS? They put it, well, it's official because there's some words behind him. There is no such thing as a president-elect office. You are the guy who's outside until you get sworn in. You are a pissant. You are just no different from anybody else who is still running for office. Oh, you got the moniker, but you don't have the job. So whenever I hear that, that garbage, to me, it's like, okay, slap that fool, and it's another example of why he does not need to be in office. But he doesn't. We don't want him in office. We are finished with this. As far as if they try to ram him down our throats, then we'll be putting a bullet up their hind end. Just in general. And, like I said, are all these cops going to step down because, well, no, they're going to keep their jobs. So then they're not going to follow any of the commies' orders when the time comes, right? They may have to go along because, well, they've got to keep their jobs. They got retirement coming in. They got retirement to worry about. Don't you know that? You don't understand. Oh, I understand completely. So be ready for that one. Yeah. The fascinating thing about this, really? And then Uncle Mark found out that there actually were things they didn't know about, and there's always something new. Anyway, as far as the gun grab goes, they're guaranteed that they're going to try to jump on that, and just like they did 23 hours after Bummer was in, they jumped off immediately. Some things they got that they still don't want to talk about. Guys, I'm going to keep reminding our new listeners and those that have been listening for a while, New York passed a mandatory ammunition registration law back when they did the magazine and gun ban under their SAFE Act garbage, okay? When they did that, it was mandatory that all ammunition, and it's still on the books, but there's no way to follow through on it because they haven't been able to find anybody with a software system they could gimmick or mimic to make it work. The companies did not want to be liable for lawsuits after the fact. So guess what? Everything's just kind of frozen for the time being, which, that's okay. But it's not, because it's still there, still in place, still happening, okay? Still where we expect. So the enemy is in motion on this, okay? Anyway, what we need to be watching for, especially with the regime, the other part of the regime change, is them demanding access to critical strategic weapons systems. Now, there is a progressive transition here, but since we have no confirmation, and everybody goes, well, what I'm waiting for is for them to say, well, yeah, there may have been voter fraud, and it may be enough for Trump to, claim a victory, but we just got to put Biden in there for. Anybody believe that? You believe that's not going to happen? Are you ready for that? Somebody's going to open their face with a stupid, arrangement like that. Yeah, if you just let them take power, the commies will step right down when, they're. No, they won't. This is for all. This is for everything. We are at war. You're the slow-mo version, because everybody figures that you were going to get this 2-hour epic movie version. There should have been, like, right after the election, like a quick flurry of action shots with Molotovs being thrown and some bullets here and there, and it's like, no. First of all, they've made it muddy intentionally so that all of the elements that they want to flick and switch move at their discretion. And with it indecisive, remember, the commies, especially the knuckle-dragging, organic sandbags that, by the way, everybody got a taste of again this weekend in Washington, D.C. A big helping spoonful of feces pie. Big chunk of feces pie. Oh, a whole mouthful of feces pie. Now, it was a great event, but when people were either coming or going, mostly when they were trying to just leave, well, that's, as we've warned everybody, is when people were getting picked off. Families, old people, people on bikes, old people on bikes. Individuals who were, maybe 1 or 2 or by themselves, or 3 or 4, mostly women, but not just women, being attacked. Another man being monkey poke, sucker punched by the knuckle-dragging, Weezer, hitting the guy from behind and on the right side, and punched him, hit him lights out right to the temple. Guy went down like a tree face first into the pavement. Didn't use his hands to slow himself down at all. That's attempted murder. But you know what? The cops, they didn't do anything. They waited till after, everybody was, when they started beating up on the Patriots. That way the cops got the benefit of them not having to beat up the Patriots. They just let the commies go ahead and do it. And then they kind of brushed them away or made noise and stood there acting like, deer in the headlights, with people bleeding and dying on the ground. But that's okay, because it wasn't the cops. It was the Patriots. And the cops hate the Patriots. And the cops hate you. And this Blue Lives Matter crap, you better throw out the door real quick, because those asshats are coming for you.
Mark, if I saw somebody beating on an old person, you know what would happen? Parry, thrust, develop.
Yep, there would be a hole.
I would cut them a round hole in the front of them that was really small, but everything would come out through that hole.
Yep. What gets me about this is, again, and the cops, when they come up, it's like, well, in one instance, the couple was being attacked. Somebody stepped up and did actually fight, beat their ass back. Only after they got monkey poked and hit and beat on, and the one person, who did the cops jump on? Why, the guy who's defending himself. The other pieces of filth and excrement, they're all jumping up and down like the baboons and monkeys that they are, and laughing and shucking and, ooking, and the cops aren't grabbing any of them. It's okay. They're okay for doing that. Yeah, you better pay attention, wake up, and smell the coffee on this one, kids, because one way or another, like I said, Fox News is out the door. It should tell you it's done. Now, they might, we changed direction. You already changed direction. You showed me, you tacked over into the enemy fleet. Oh, but wait, they told me I should try and cut my losses because, nobody's going along and just bobbleheading because you're all stupid. You guys are all leaving us. It's like, yeah, in a heartbeat. So guess what? Oh, no, look, we were serious, but we weren't serious about spitting on you. We were just pissing and spitting on you, but we really weren't serious. Can't we all just get along? My ass.
Mark, I heard a clip from Fox News the other day, and in the question that the Fox person was asking of the person they were interviewing, in the question, it sounded like one of the questions that they give the president when they're trying, any president, the corporate CEO president, any question that they give them where they go into a diatribe and try and push a political agenda in the question, and then, they really don't ever get to asking the question. Twice in asking the guy, they made the statement that there was no evidence that there was any shenanigans going on with the voting. I mean, I expect it from MSNBC or CNN or one of the other shills. But honestly, you and I both knew that Fox is up there. They're the stunt dummies. They're the puppet with the longer strings, so you can't see the guy manipulating them. But they're no different. And they've shown their colors now. They're done.
Yeah, the big thing here is it's a great way to shove an epiphany into people's brains that, like I said, 3 times today, 3 different people I spoke to, all responded the same way. And they had that 1,000-yard stare from after you said, yep, oh, Fox is evil. Yeah, Fox is bad. Fox is evil. All these networks are blah, blah, blah. I said, really? But they haven't been before. Well, no, but they betrayed us. Fox betrayed us. Well, why would they? What? Why would Fox do this now? Well, that means that Fox is being run by they're all the same clique, all the same yarmulke-wearing oi boys, but they have to have one playing the rubes to be the opposition, so they have both the opposition to create the diatribe, to set the pace for whatever they want to BS everybody with. And that way they don't go off script, because one has to respond, actually it's always supposed to be react to the other, when in reality it's a scripted BS story back and forth. Well, guess what? They finally decided that, Izzy, yeah, we don't need to do that stuff no more. We can save some money. Besides, we got to go for the big one. Get rid of all of the fakey stuff. What about Fox? Don't we want it? No, get rid of it. Tell him to come over here with us. It's time for Izzy to be over here with us. I know he feels like he's dirty. I know that. I've talked to him here at the bar mitzvah. Now he feels dirty and unclean, and now he'll feel better because he'll be doing the goy. We'll be screwing the rubes. He can help us from this side now. It's really great, I'm telling you. He'll like it. Just go tell him. Send Saul over there to do it.
Again, we may be bursting the bubble of a few people that are listening, but, the majority of people are already awake to what's going on. That means you're Sean Hannity, you're Rush Limbaugh, you're just name anybody on the damn network. They're all shills. They're all rubes. But we're all supposed to be rubes, in their eyes, and they get paid to lie to us and to distort the truth.
Yes, millions, no less. Well, again, there's pieces that are left that could go a little farther, but everybody I've talked to at one point or another, the 3 that you would mention that are out there that are like supposedly not being bought. Well, sure, they're bought. I mean, if I were Tucker Carlson, I could say what I can, which he did. He has. He doesn't have the spine to do any more than what he's coached to keep the audience. Okay, that's it. He can't talk about anything real. He can talk about enough of it, to try and keep their attention. Remember, the idea is to try and keep you distracted with we need to be reasonable. Let's be reasonable. Can't we all be reasonable? Let's be progressive. Now we can talk about it and lament about it, but let's not do anything about it. Let's just tell them how we're incensed. Stop, or I'll shout stop again. Well, maybe we should beat their ass. Oh, no, we can't do that. But they can beat your ass. The other side can beat your ass, but don't you dare beat their ass. Now, one of the reasons is, remember, if the enemy is so grossly outnumbered as it is, if we actually go out and beat their ass, they run out of actors and fire brigades to go run around and create their little terror operations, people. You do understand that, right? Why do you think they have bus brigades? If you walked in and wipe out one of those bus brigades, it's like secret police. If you wipe out a secret police gun confiscation unit, and they have a big plan, well, all the rest of the big plan that unit's part of, they're not part of that big plan anymore. Do you see how that works? And all the elements that are part of the big plan that they were supposed to fulfill is dead with them. Does everybody understand that? I hope you do. Anyway, I want to touch on something. We got a few minutes here. It's now every day is Weapons Wednesday, so to speak, here on the network. I've been looking for, and I know this is not the only price, but attention. If you have an AK-74 and you got it for a good price, but you're short ammunition, I know several people have said this. They got some really great deals here because there's not that much ammo right now. There was a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I told you where to look, and we kept looking for more. Well, here, attention. Over at Moriarty, like Sherlock Holmes' nemesis, right? Moriarty. Moriartyarmaments.com. 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 TIARMAMENTS. Yes, it's a mouthful. However, when you get over there, go to AR-15 545 by 39. Go do a search for AR-74. That's what they're referring to it as, an AR-74 545 by 39. When you get the listing for the stuff that matches up to your interest, okay, they have a couple of things here that you're probably going to want to look at, and not the least is ammunition. Oh, yes, they have ammunition. And not only that, but it's for about 36 cents a round, which in this day and age, two things. It's the Wolf 545 by 39 ammunition military classic. Now, this is the 60, not the earlier bullet. This is the 60 grain bullet FMJ, 30 rounds per box for $10.99. So that's $11 in my market, right? Ping! There we go, $11. I don't know how much they have. I don't. But I do know that they have the ammunition on the shelf, and they show it orderable, and I can put it on a cart like I just did to demonstrate that, yes, it shows up, okay? So I have it in my cart. Let's see, how many do I need? Oh, and in addition, they do have other 545 by 39 items, including now it's only a 10.5-inch upper, and I'm not excited about that, but they do have a couple of complete rifles in stock that are 545 by 39 ARs. They've got for $700. They have a stainless steel semi-auto rifle, 16-inch fluted stainless steel. Basically, your all-top Picatinny rail system you've been seeing. Nothing exotic to write home about, but sophisticated enough. And the 545 by 39 is a good round, so if you actually had an AK or if you're looking for another caliber, there's a lot of this stuff laying out there in the earlier 50 series grain projectile, the original 7 series bullet. Let's see. The other one they have here is the AR-74 545 by 39 Moriarty Arms 10.5 fluted pistol, stainless steel, $630. Now, again, you're buying that as a short, quote-unquote, pistol, okay? That's on the crosshairs. I know you don't need to tell me, but if you were looking at not carrying, then that is an option. Although if I were going to do that, I think I'd just buy the upper separate, because the upper is just an upper. It's not a gun. And you can have all the lowers laying somewhere else, and you just take that upper and make it disappear. But if you need it in a golf bag, like if you needed 30 caliber, 545 by 39, 556, the 762 by 39 really is what I meant by 30. If you had 3 or 4 of the basic uppers with you or on hand, you really could keep your gun going no matter where you were on the battlefield. Seriously. And 300 Blackout would be another one I'd pick up, simply because there's enough 300 Blackout floating around that it would work. So anyway, there was a question about the 545, but I found something else interesting. They have the KCI AK-74 545 by 39 dual drum, the Tits of Doom drum, for $130. They are in stock, so they do have those, and they have the 545 by 39 magazines for the AR, stainless steel, 30 rounders. Take a look at what's on the shelf there. It's over at Moriarty Armaments, and it is all the stuff I just mentioned is in stock. If you want to get, for instance, an additional bolt carrier with a correct bolt, they have that in stock, about $150 a
question.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes, can you spell that again slowly now that I actually have a working pen in my hand?
Oh, right. It's WW. Well, actually, I guess no W in front of it. It's just MORIARTI. And the next word is armaments. This is all one word. ARMAMENTS.com. I'm going to do it again. IARMAMENTS.com. And it's the symbol is the lion kind of a lion gargoyle. So for everybody out there, not hard to find. They actually do have a bunch of other items that are out there on the page. And if you're looking for uppers, it's another source for, at least another source for uppers that you might find. They do have like the 762 by 39 quad rail upper assembly, 10-inch free float rail, $270 for the 762 by 39 standard upper. And no, not a bad little package. All of these, some of the guys have these right now. I think several of them have the pistols, the shorter barrel home builds, and because of what we mentioned earlier on in one of the programs. Now, they have one other item. It's a little better price, not much from what I already did, weeks ago, but they do have AR-15 5.56, 223 14.5 premium quad tactical complete build kit with law enforcement stock. Who cares about that? LE stock. $450 for the whole kit. That's an up or down thing, because it is still a parts gun, but it's complete. Everything is supposed to be there, so I assume an FFL. I haven't looked at it that closely, but supposedly everything's there. And so there's another option. They have several kits like that, so it's purely a matter of flavor taste as always, and that's at the same location. But the 5.45 is really what I was interested in, only because, again, the ammunition. Somebody's just asking right here. Okay, once you go to Moriarty Armaments, go over to the 5.45, actually go to ammunition there. They have this in stock. It is 36 cents a round. It's 36 point blah, 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 blah. Forget that. It's digits, tiny digits. It's 36 cents a round, which is a reasonable price, better than AR by half price right now. So if you do have an AK-74 and you picked it up but you can't find ammo, go over there to where I just mentioned. They have this ammunition in stock, and most of the other places are out. So that's the last of the, in fact, I'm even flagging that to make sure that we don't lose that page for the 5.45. And I'm going to add some of that to the cart, just to be safe.
Hey, Fluffy, go throw that pen away now while you're thinking about it. How many people do that? This pen doesn't work, and it goes back on the desk, and the next time you pick up a pen, that's the one you pick up.
Yep, exactly.
Already done it.
There are a number of other 5.45 by 39 ARs out there, guys. I'm not just picking for one company, so if you find something else and you find a better price, I recommend it. But one of the other reasons for doing this is to find an upper for the best price, 16-inch, crude, rude, simple is what you want. And the objective is to have another caliber option for the war that's coming. We're already in it. The other side's already made their decision. They're coming to murder you. Now you just better be ready for when it happens. And with them already trying to figure, they're playing the rubes. They're, creating pickle smoke and mirrors, a lot of pickle smoke, and pickle smoke and mirrors and puke juice all over the place, lots of venom. And, of course, now we've got the coronavirus virus scam, beer virus scam being thrown in there. And that's expected. There's nothing there that should be surprising anybody who's a thinking patriot. The dunderheads may get caught flat-footed, but we won't. Also, I would remind everybody that, again, as I mentioned, there are a lot of AK-74s out there. They were cheap years ago, incredibly cheap. In fact, for a while, it was cheaper and still has been. Well, even right now. Let me point something out. It's cheaper right now to buy the 5.45 by 39 and shoot it than it is the 7.62 by 39 by about a nickel. That ammo I just mentioned is only 36 cents a round, whereas the average AK round is running about 42 to 43 cents, although you can probably find it for as little as 39. But right now, in fact, you go to UN Ammo, they've got a great price, 43 cents a round. Right now, they've got Red Army ammo. ball ammo, which is your preferred situation. That way, any of your rifles, no matter what it is, should consume that round, okay? Another thing is somebody's asking about weight of barrel. Right now, I wouldn't care. In a shorter 16-inch, I do like a heavy barrel. Yeah, you're going to add another half pound, quarter pound, depending on which barrel you buy and whether it's stepped or straight. But one of the big advantages there is just, again, tightening up the groups because there's less, flip and play with the barrel during its natural cycle of activity with harmonics. And in addition to that, if I got to beat somebody down, a heavy barrel is kind of nice to have. More weight rather than less. There's a balance there. The AR-15s are hovering at, 8-9 pounds, right back to where the M14 is. That's why I always laugh when they say, "Oh, we made this lighter a gun." No, you didn't. You've done everything you could to make it heavier. To be quite honest, you've gotten bulkier too, by the way. So you don't gain that much with the AR by the time you do what everybody tells you to do. Especially when they went to the metallic. They've got the metallic quad rails. They're beefing everything up. They don't make those thin, not if they're well made. So if you start adding all the doodads and throwing all the tinker toys back on board, you drive the weight right back up to the weight of an M14. And it's true. It's where, on the other hand, as I've been pointing out, the only way to get it, well, not the only way, but the best way to get a shaved AR-15 is to build it yourself and do the polymer parts. You can knock that gun down about 5.5 pounds. Maybe if you really do it right and you find a pencil barrel, down to about 5 pounds. Now you're talking about a lightweight AR-15. But most everything else out there ain't nothing lightweight about any of them anymore. Just the reverse. With all the clunker and lunker stuff everybody keeps adding, it just goes up ounce by ounce. So, flavor choices here. What do you want? What are you expecting to get out of the gun? What do you have in the way of inventory, and what do you need to do to beef up your defense? And by the way, what do we want? We need to go to break because we are at 6:03. For everybody out there, it is the top of the hour. It is Monday. You're listening to us on www.libertytreeradio.4mg.com. If you're listening to a reflector, that's where the mother broadcast comes from. God bless our republic.
Death to the New World Order.
We shall prevail, ladies and gentlemen. The empire's on the run.
And we're on the march both day and night.
Hoorah. And again, that for the 545x39, if you just do a search for uppers, you'll find a number of different responses and go down through the inventory and compare prices. Find out first, obviously, if it's in stock. Don't just assume and then stop looking. You'll be very frustrated if you do that. We're going to go to break, grab a cup of coffee, go use the bathroom, whatever you got to do. What? And we'll be back with the second hour in a few minutes here on Liberty Tree Radio.
Sun will always shine on the old Liberty tree. It's a tall old tree and a strong old tree. And we are the sons, yes, we are the sons of liberty. March along with the fight for boys free. We're born forever free. Nice will pay the piper.
all need to prepare ourselves. You might have the food, water, gold, and silver, but ask yourself, are you truly prepared? That's why you need to visit MaineMilitary.com. MaineMilitary.com carries everything you need. Gas masks, fire starter kits, high-capacity magazines, chemical suits, military surplus items, and much more. Do you own a firearm? MaineMilitary.com has a large selection of pistols and rifles suited for your needs. Are your local stores sold out of ammunition? Call or visit them today for prices on hard-to-find ammo and bulk ammo orders. You don't need to worry about having a military surplus store in your area because MaineMilitary.com is the only store you'll ever need, all from the comfort of your computer. Visit them online today at MaineMilitary.com. That's Maine, like the state, military.com.
Liberty's Guardian, Guns and Ammunition, a family-owned business located in the heart of Ohio's hunting country. Let us help you find the right shotgun or rifle for you. Or if you're looking for a pistol or concealed carry, we have a nice selection of compact and subcompact pistols for that too. Check out our website at www.libertiesguardian.com. That website again is www.libertiesguardian.com. Go to the website and check out our selection today.
Servants don't uphold the solemn oaths they've sworn. And your daughters visit doctors, so their children won't be born. Your leaders send artillery and guns to foreign shores, and send your sons to slaughter fighting other people's wars. Can you regain the freedoms for which we fought and died? Or don't you have the courage or the faith to stand with pride? And are there no more values for which you'll fight to save? Wish your children to live in fear and be a slave. O sons of the Republic, arise, take a stand, defend the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. Preserve our great republic
And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the second hour of the afternoon intelligence report. I'm Mark Gorky, one day closer to victory for all of our brothers and sisters, both on and behind the lines in occupied territories, southwest, east, northeast, and west. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to us on Libertytreeradio.4mg.com, Liberty Tree Radio on YouTube via Liberty Tree Radio. And if you go to YouTube, you can go to the live stream right now. You can plug right in just while we're talking. Also, we are on AM and FM micro stations, AM and FM conventional stations, CB base stations, and Ultranet, Hallmark, and Golden Spike Technologies, east and west of the Mississippi, along with Alaska. Good afternoon to all of our friends out there in the lower 49, including the great state of Jefferson, along with CONUS, the outlying two states, the territories, and the clock. It is 6:12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Monday, and it's the 16th of November. It is the 12th year of open Fabian Socialist and Soviet Socialist occupation of America, with a K, 2020 Old Earth calendar, 2020 year of conflict, year of battle and betrayal, battle for the Republic, dance of swords. And one of the things we closed down with the last hour, 545 by 39 uppers. I'm not saying you have to go that direction. However, once again, here's one of the other things to take into consideration right now. Finding 223 or 556 ammo is, like few and far between. The discussion is there is no relief on the horizon. A 545 by 39 rifle, if you go just to the one, Moriarty site that we just mentioned, it is cheaper. You will get twice as much ammunition to pull the trigger on than if you try to find 70 cents or 80 cent or $1 around 223. And the 545 by 39 in this case is a 60 grain mid-era loading for the AK-74. So it's a good round. I mean, it's comparable to the 62 grain. And in fact, they paralleled each other, usual drivel. We do one, they do the other, or they do one, we do the other. Take your pick. We really lost count after a while. You really don't even care anymore. Bottom line is that there's a cornucopia of loads in both options, 556, 223, or 545 by 39. And purely because, again, a major power has adopted it. And I would point out that as far as I know, Russia is not the only one carrying the 545 by 39. The first AK-74 plant built outside of Russia was actually in India. And India has purchased, and I doubt that they've pulled out of service, the 545 by 39 rifles they brought into service. They usually hang on to them until the bolts fall off them, the rivets fall off, the barrels are, have no rifling. You don't think so? Look at some of the rifles we got from India. Well, remember about a decade ago. Remember those? Yeah. Oh, everything you could imagine and more. And there's still some popping up. There's some of the drill rifles from India showing up right now. What are those? Enfields. Yeah. Well, nobody uses those except that anybody that's a third-party country or a very large country that has lots of people to arm if they go to war or for their constabulary. And then as long as it puts a bullet down range, especially if you're a poor country, you really don't care. So throw that idea out. That's the propaganda from the guns and ammo type thing. Reality is stuff's still out there all over the place, but especially these the last generation of assault weapons, because there's a lot of other garbage now in polymer that's out there. The standard rifles are steel. They're going to be out there for a long time. They can be easily rebuilt, cheaper than buying a new one. Especially since they have in-house production, which India does. So that's another country that when they show up in the international battlefield, maybe as enforcers against America for the foreclosure on the country, you're going to see 5.45 by 39 being carried by them. Now, they may also be given by the traders that are in the regime, AR, M16 variants or whatever variant of rifle they're carrying for the moment. But it's most likely they'll carry their national weapon and they'll just build a logistic train for it as needed. Logic is that they're policing us anyway, that it's not war, they're policing us, don't you know? And the traitors will be executed, and the poor foreign troops that show up will die a horrible death and will not be returned to anybody. They will be fed to the catfish, and then the catfish will be fed to whatever prisoners you think you have, or whatever are left beyond that, if any. Another thing here, yes, now thank you for pointing that out, but I don't know if they have them in stock. There's a couple of companies that do have just the bolts. Looking right now, they do, as a matter of fact. Okay, Voodoo Manufacturing. That Voodoo. Anonymous Arms. This is over at www.ar15-supply.com. They have 5.45 by 39 life coat bolt for $89. Now, Mark, that's $89. Well, go take a look what the price of a bolt is. In this case, this is a 5.45 by 39 fascia. It's designed to handle the 5.45 by 39 case. So, congratulations. There's the part you need if you want to build a bolt carrier combination and you want to do it home. Do it yourself, which you could do. That would be an option. If you just buy that, maybe you've got a couple of the spare bolt carriers or other goodies laying around that are grade B for you. They're not your first choice, but you do have them. This is how you build up another rifle, or at least another complete upper. So all you do is pop a couple of pins, drop the other, on board, push the pins back in, and put, pop, boom, boom. You've got yourself a sputter gun again. At least you're not sucking vapors going, I wonder if I'm going to have to finally use my bayonet. Yeah, which you might do anyway. I mean, come on, we've told you before. You get a heavier barrel just because you might have to club them like a baby seal, or at least you might have to beat on somebody with your weapon. Anyway, that is over at ar15-supply.com. And they do have other items, both 7.62 by 39 and 5.45 by 39. And magazines are up and down. Different companies have what are specific product built, and they're averaging, if they have them in stock, for anywhere from, I think, $18 to about $20, $19.89, $19.99. You tell me what that is, $20. So they are out there, too, if you're looking for additional mags or you want to build up I'll tell you a way to think about it is build up a bandolier of the mags based on the little government bandoliers that everybody's dumping for a reasonable price if you find the ACUs. That's what we've been doing. We've been loading up every one of those bandoliers, plus we've been loading up our regular bandoliers and stripper clips. I always love the fools who go, bandoliers and stripper clips are obsolete. With stripper clips, of course. It's like, yeah, right. How, everybody pushes this stupid word obsolete around without, do you know what that means? So it doesn't do it. All of a sudden, it's like I said, Gen 1 Glocks, because we have Gen 4 Glocks. The Gen 1 Glocks must be obsolete, right? No, but you need a Glock 4 because you don't have one yet. You only have a Glock 1. You should have a Glock 4.
Gen 1 stale, though, Mark?
They like potato chips. They go rancid. They're horrible to the taste. When you pull the trigger, you just don't feel as good. But you'll feel better if you have a number Gen 4, Glock as opposed to a Gen 1 Glock. But the Gen 1 Glock must be totally functional and malfeasant and discontented. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the manufacturer will feel real good if you get a new one, too.
Yeah, those are the people who will feel better. Your wallet won't feel any better, but, they feel better. Yes, exactly. So there are a lot of solutions for the 5.45 out there. I wanted to bring that up. But here again, that's another thing. I had another person do this while I was at one of the stores. I just ran into him by accident, actually. Wasn't even planned, but it's funny because, we've seen each other on and off more, I think, in the last month with all the stuff going on, where we're just going to stores and, somebody else is shopping. But he pointed out, you need to get an AR-15. Now, this is another guy, again, that I know has a Remington semi-automatic 30-06. And not only that, but he shoots deer with reckless abandon. I mean, he used to put deer on the deer pole over here in at Dexter at the sporting goods shop, Dexter Mill, before it went out. And so I know what kind of weapons he's got, because we didn't go to school, but he's older than I am, so by maybe 8 years. But he was sitting in the truck and he's going, I got to get an AR-15. I said, well, don't you have those deer rifles? I mean, that Remington was a top-end premium Remington, because he was a customer when I had the gun shop that I ran. And I know where the rifles went, and he doesn't sell guns. He's one of those, he's like a Finn, guns are for buying, not for selling. And it's like, well, yeah, I still got my Remingtons, all of them. And I said, well, how are they not right for the job? Well, I need the AR-15, and everybody says I need AR-15. It's like, well, what would you rather shoot somebody with, a big 30-06 that puts a hole in them the size of your fist, or bigger? Because remember, it's a lot more powerful than that 5.56 round. And you shoot things on the move up north when you go up to Atlanta. They've got a place up towards Atlanta, Michigan, the cabin, and up there the deer run ridges. Okay, kind of like out west. So it's like you shoot deer on the run through a woods at 125 miles, forgive me, 125 yards, about 35 miles an hour, and you put them down every time, don't you? Well, yeah. I said, I don't think any of the people are going to shoot at run any faster than that. I doubt they will. And it's like, it'd be more important that you buy more of the best ammunition that fits that scope and weapon that you've got, the stuff that prints best. And if you do that for us, when we get into this fight, just hit them once. And then go find another target and just hit them once. Do what you do when you deer hunt. Don't spray and pray. Because everybody has got this movie. I'm serious. I'm listening to this with some people. And this man I'd want next to me, back behind me by about 60 to 80 yards. Not in front of me, not beside me, but I want him back behind where I can direct him in a position where he would, with a handful of riflemen like him making up a squad, would be base fire terminators. And when you hear their boom, somebody died. At the very least, somebody is screaming and crying for a medic, but somebody died, typically. That's what those rifles do. This is America. We've had time to practice. We don't need to flip it over to full auto and spray at the sky because we have no training. You got all kinds of good training. Apply it. Go ahead.
Yeah, AR-15 supply or what?
I'm sorry, repeat?
The website, AR-15supply.com or what?
AR-15-supply.com. AR-15 dash is a dash supply. If you do a search, it'll pop up another way too, just in case. If you do a search for AK, like what I did was 545 by 39 AR-15 uppers, all these different part stores will pop up. But just in case, I mean, that's you can research and you'll go down through the list. You'll find it listed there a couple times for the different parts. Roger. But it definitely is. They definitely have the bolts, which most everybody is sold out. This is again where if you cherry pick, you can find everything you need. www.ar15-supply.com. www.ar15-supply.com, and it's numerical 15. So, but it's definitely, again, there's a bunch of other goodies there. I actually have to go through that site. I haven't done anything with it in a while, but I just noticed that. It's like, whoa, okay, right there. I don't really need to buy a whole bolt carrier. A lot of guys out there have already bought a cheaper bolt carrier, upgraded to another one. Take that spare, put that bolt in it, and Shazam, Sergeant Carter, you're halfway there. Because the only two things you're going to need is the barrel and the bolt. Repeat. Go ahead, Carl.
Yes, number 4 here. I got some pants for you for $4.99. They're Marine Corps Alpha uniform pants, and this is at the website ArmySurplusWorld.com.
Let me pull it here. Hold on. ArmySurplusWorld.com.
ArmySurplusWorld.com. They're Marine Corps Alpha uniform pants. and there's different sizes, and sometimes the price won't be $4.99. It'll may be higher if it's a different size than what some of the larger ones are. They have a premium price on the extra long leg ones and stuff.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, ArmySurplus.com?
Army Surplus World. One word, ArmySurplusWorld.com.
There we go. That's what it was. I don't know why it didn't register here. Okay. World. There we go. Try that again. Oh, it tried to buzz me over to Crown Outdoor
you may need to call them and see.
Now. There we go.
You may need to call them and say, look, I want to bulk buy instead of cherry picking certain sizes.
Right. I did that the other day, and what happened was interesting is while I was doing it, somebody swarmed in, and there was a good size range of pants, but then needless to say, the large and extra large pants went first. And by the time they got back with me with a phone call, which actually was only 15 minutes, they were already almost exhausted of the deal. And those were actually a camouflage pant. They were in the
well, they have on the page.
Let's see. This is okay.
They have on the page used marine.
Okay, go right ahead.
I did a search under pants. I did pants. That's all I did in the search magnifying glass. And on the search magnifying glass, I found used marine desert digital fatigues for $6.99 starting at, and then the Milpat uniform pants starting at $8.99.
And let's see, come on, there we go. I just did a little search on theirs to see what do we have size range. Choose an option. Okay, I will. Choose. And also looks like it has ladies' sizes too. Size 28, size 24.
You didn't find it under pants?
Okay, I'm seeing. Okay, that's what I'm curious about here. Well, unfortunately, I got the pants. Used Desert Digital Fatigue.
Well, there's a whole list of pants on the page.
I'm going to go back. Okay, well, this is the problem. It searched when I went to what you did. Okay, hold on. Let's go this way. Pants. Let's just go pants. Okay.
Because my research results says search for pants. And that's
right,
what pops
here we
up
go.
all the
now
pants.
we just have the myriad of pants. And
216 on a page or something like that.
Right. And we have pink camo, which of course we were just discussing that earlier this morning with somebody. And is it over in the special offers section?
I just put in pants and it says search results for pants and it's popping up.
I'm looking at all of them. There's page after page. Okay, let's do it this way. Can we get...
And then I did... also, I sorted by low price. Maybe that's why
there we go. Let's do that.
I sort
let's
price
drop it
low.
down to... There we go. How about $5? Alpha uniform or probably a dress... It's like the B uniforms, or the Class C uniforms we used to have. In this case, I think, that's interesting. Oh, okay, there we go. Well, it's a little sluggish. Maybe it's just at our end. It could be where we are. Is typically the case. Okay, yes. Now we go up to, and it looks like we drive all the way up to 35 by 33 and a half inseam. Although it says plus $6. Okay, so it does, we have to make a package deal probably. We'll see what we can do. At least we get an idea. And again, they may have, sometimes what I have run into a couple of deals ago was what I just said is, hey, I'm looking for unsorted and seconds, because a lot of times with these companies, they also actually do a little bit of wholesale. And when the stuff comes in, they have basically a blem bucket where they don't know what it is or they don't want it because it wasn't what they expected. And they actually have them sorted sometimes by, type. Swiss sorts by type now. They used to just throw everything in a bin. Several of the other wholesalers do the same thing, because when the stuff comes in, it's baled. Where they get these odd clothes from are actually the stuff that they use for ballast to keep the rest of the stuff from moving around in the can. And they hire a bunch of Mexicans, usually at the main warehouse, and what they do is they dig out the product. Well, when they do that, they sort as they go, because it's still product. It's just product that wasn't expected, that was considered tosser at the Rent a Revolution and, a warehouse in Europe, like in Germany or Belgium. And that's the stuff that you usually can find by the bin, which is, or like this kind of a deal where they've got a pile of the stuff and sometimes you just put it right over into the sales section, or they don't even list it. In this case, I caught one batch, it wasn't even listed. So as long as I got an idea, we go there and we'll say, hey, by the way, I'm interested, and I don't care whether or not they're shorts, longs, smalls, talls, I want all of them. Give me everything. What is it per bin? Sometimes you can make a deal on that stuff, which basically it's a full pallet bin, 45 by 54 by about 5 foot deep, and it'll be packed solid, and $60, $80 a bin. And so you figure out, it purely matter, do they stuff it well? Do they take the stuff and just leave it stacked and stuff it in there tight? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But sometimes you'll fill a whole semi-truck load with that stuff. I mean, so many pallet bins.
I got a question for you. You have a lot of people that maybe not working around you. Would there be a way that you could contract somebody to make you uniforms at a fairly reasonable price?
Well, when I'm looking at, I'll tell you the first thing I'm looking at right now, we do have it's not really, doesn't need to be resurrected, it's just on standby. I have 2 sweatshops set up. And we can do, we've done, like I said, web gear before that. We've already got patterns, on standby. But one of the things that I want to do is helmet covers. So if I start doing helmet covers, we're going to be looking at yards of material. I have a dozen different companies I can get the bolts from. I'm trying to get hold of one that was, again, I bought every uniform they had that was in their discount, but they've gone off the map in the last 3 or 4 weeks, where before they were, accessible. I've tried all of their regular electronic connects, and I'm not getting through, not getting a response from them. But they could be busy. It's not likely, but they could be. One of the reasons that they're really popular is because they do raw stock. They're one of the looms that's out of Georgia, and they do raw stock rolls of whatever camo. In fact, one of the batches I bought, or I should say I directed towards the people who bought all of them, was a special contract run uniform that was supposed to go over to the Middle East. And it was all done to U.S. spec, but it's an odd camouflage pattern that they had designed for them out of the company. They had rolls of the material. So I'm trying to get hold of them, because we'll buy the rest of the rolls of material and make more uniforms for the people who bought the several thousand sets of uniforms, because they were selling in sets also. That's not very common with most of the companies. Overseas, you see that. Like if you go to Alibaba or if you go to any of the Rent a Revolution companies and you make direct contact with them, they sell you technically sets, but I will tell everybody again, I'll remind you guys, it doesn't come that way. The uniforms come in bales. When you buy for an army, they literally take cardboard balers. Most people are familiar with that because you worked in a grocery store, you work in a dry goods store, and all the clothing goes into these balers. They are wire baled with cardboard panels on the outside. They shove all of them, stack it all in there, bind it all up, and then it looks just like a cotton bale from the old Civil War days, so to speak, or a straw bale from the back fields, the size of the big roll straw. And those go into the container until they get the number of pounds that you purchased. They don't do it by count of uniforms. At their end, they do it by weight. And then when you get it at this end, you hire your Mexicans, or you get your Americans, to unsnap, and you actually have to hand pick and sort everything as you move it out of the container, because it's easier to do that because it's all self-contained. When you're doing mass quantity, that's how it is. So the cloth comes the same way. When it comes from overseas, there's some hellacious deals. The problem is, what I've seen is the shipping, not the import. The shipping is outrageous right now. So, and unfortunately, since the Chinese with NAFTA and GATT were able to screw the clothing corridor that we had in the United States, which was basically Georgia and Alabama, where the cotton states are, what's happened is we don't have the inventory choice that we had, and if you go for the more exotic stuff that everybody seems to have a hard-on for, which I'm not excited about anymore at all, the prices have just doubled again in the last month. Most people aren't even looking at this. Guys, I'm going to tell you again, thank you for bringing this up. I have been looking at clothing, and it's like, I told you before it was bad, it's worse. If you can save socks, underpants, T-shirts, if you can find, distress sales, or if somebody's got a resale shop, we've got so much clothing, we want to get rid of it. Grab every T-shirt, grab every sweatshirt, grab every sweatpant, every blue jean, every tactical pant, shorts, whatever you can, and box or bale them up. What I'm doing is barreling them up. I'm using large mouth barrels, but in smaller sizes, and we're going to do a barrel fest here. And actually, it's going to be ongoing for the next week. But I've got brand new shirts that I picked up that were being thrown out, a dumpster's worth. Those are, I consider these medical items. They're going to be for the medical units because they're they're brand new. They're in an odd color, but they're good enough for patient use. So or if I had to, if you just needed clothes because you come out, tattered and worn, and you're a refugee, well, you're going to get this. Is it pretty? Well, they are bright. They're bright colors. But is it tactical? No, but it'll put something on your hind end so you're not stinking. We're going to get the dirty clothes off you, get those in the wash, get your hind end scrubbed, put you into something at least so you're not running around bare-ass naked, and then for a change, you'll be civilized. Now, everybody better have a plan.
Another question and idea.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was trying to find a break. What about all the units you're outfitting and stuff like that? Maybe a group of those people can also come into your sweatshop and become the new Mama Sans. And you cut the patterns out by bulk. And then the other thing is you might find a lot of curtains on sale, special, because a lot of people don't have discretionary income to change the curtains. So you're cutting the curtains just like in the Gone with the Wind to make some clothing out of it.
Really, Scarlett? Well, actually, that's one of the things I've been looking. That's why I've been looking at. You notice I mentioned this maybe a few days ago. I don't care as long as they're utility pants. I was looking in the used industrial, uniforms, because those should be dime a dozen. It used to be a 10. Literally, that was a 10-cent item. I'm not exaggerating, guys. If you're willing to buy a pile of them, they were 10, 25 cents, and the high-end price for used work clothes was, maybe a quarter to 50 cents a top, depending on how nice it was. But the average, you took the good and the bad, or the good and the used, and you paid about 25 cents a top, 25 cents a bottom. $6, $7, $8 a top.
What about dyeing Tyvek pants?
Huh?
What about dyeing Tyvek pants? That'll get that's your butter knife pants to get to the enemy pants.
Well, actually, the Tyvek is prioritized for chemical warfare, but I understand what you're saying. No, right now the big thing is scour the resale market. If I could get into certain places that are shut down, there's still some that are so paranoid. It's ludicrous to try and get in. But the only good thing I can figure about that is they got to be piled up with junk. Our plan is, if I were to, part of our emergency planning is if you go into like some of these places because they do color sort. And we literally, like I've told several people, your job's going to be to go in here. You have an envelope. The envelope has cash, and you tell them from here, all these green clothes to there, all those green clothes, I want all of them. Give me a price. And that's one of the last-ditch things we're going to be doing, just because it'll be OD green, earth brown, grays, whatever we can, a lot of stuff is pre-sorted. Dockers and Docker pants with, the 6-pocket cargo pants are the drug in the market. I mean, there's tons of the stuff. So
what's your cutoff on price?
Well, I wouldn't pay more than $1 or $2 or $3, but if you do a volume like that, they'll always make a deal. I mean, that's one thing about resale shops as far as we've got a glut of them here. In fact, the one is bursting at the seam. Well, actually, not just one, 2 or 3 of them are. The estate sales don't have anywhere to take their stuff. They don't want to throw it out. They're being decent in that respect. But because of that, all these places are getting all of the grandma and grandpa stuff that the kids should be taking care of, but they're not. The good thing, we're routing tools out of there left and right because most all the resale points are friendly. And when you demonstrate that you have a useful need for something, they actually even let you know, hey, we got this stayed off to the side for you. Anywhere around the country, pretty well everybody's like that because they don't lease to a certain degree. They don't want to see stuff go to waste. We've even seen cloth and stuff. Well, some women are, they were sewing all their lives. Okay, I got before Don passed away when we got him into his new house. I'll tell you what, he has sitting in the house a wall-mounted sewing cabinet with this phenomenal self-contained, kind of like a Starship fold-up toilet. Only in this case, it's a fold-up sewing station where you bring down the sewing machine, the table folds down, your spools and everything are sorted. It's in oak and ash. I got that for nothing, just about. Okay, but the machine was worth the purchase. But the whole thing is a self-contained sew shop. For doing any kind of quick work or repairs you wanted to. And we've got stuff like that piled up. That's like with the little sweatshop. What I want to do is bring the people in that do know how to work and assign them an assistant gunner, so to speak, and get everybody to start working on these projects. The helmet covers would be a quick, easy thing for everybody to understand. And as far as making a pattern, we just disassemble a fragged one, which I've already done. I actually do. I do a lot of this myself by hand. I mean, when I need extra helmet covers, I've got a ton of them that were seconds from Maine surplus, Maine military. I told them, give me your seconds. What I'll do is get those, see what needs to be quick patched. I'm sitting down relaxing for a little bit at night. I've stitched up and repaired every last one of those. I don't have any to fix anymore. Now what I've been doing on helmet covers is cleaning out, which is why you guys won't find any. Trust me, you won't. Any helmet cover for $1 or less we're buying, period. It's gone. I just cleared out 2 companies today, and I will clear out 1 more tomorrow. With every last helmet cover for $1 they had. The only ones I haven't cleaned out are the Swiss. And I will start taking those because the Swiss uniforms are not a bad pattern for Michigan. And we have millions of them. So the big thing is now, like I'm trying to explain to people, we don't need a hodgepodge. We need regimental colors. So, friend, foe, what unit is that? Well, that's the 416th. Well, how do you know? Well, look at their uniform. Oh, okay. One of the things about uniform standard, like you just brought up about sewing, what I'm trying to do is we need also a pattern that's totally unlike everybody else. Even just OD green is actually pretty cool in that respect because most everybody needs to be tactical with the same color top to bottom. And as I pointed out, OD green base, pants, OD green shirt. And then now what I've decided we're going to do because of looking at the craziness of this, I can get tops for 1/3 or 1/4 what I can get bottoms for. I'm not going to spend $60 on a pair of pants and pay $7, $8, $9 for a brand new blouse that's, factory military made. That just ain't going to happen. So the OD green pants we're going to do like the good old days for any of you guys who were in service. Camouflage was a special issue item. Basically, it was just the camo smock. The way to do the smock when you've got all these uniforms we have now is buy out the bigger sizes. The smocks were designed to either be worn by themselves as a camouflage outer layer to identify friend to foe, kind of like, remember the British. The British airborne had an assault smock. They didn't wear a camo uniform. They were wearing an OD green base uniform with a camouflage smock. The U.S. military did the same thing for the longest time, but they had one of the things that they did a couple times was just like the Germans and really what the Brits were doing is they had almost like a pull-on, like a mini skirt coverall. It actually had a crotch. It actually went down to the legs. Now the British SAS smocks button in the crotch so that they actually do tighten up the same way. The Germans had the same pattern. The Rose did that. Rhodesians, when they could, they actually had top to bottom everything, but they were a poor country. So OD green base, assault smock like the SAS idea, was as common as not, depending upon which unit. And remember, their units weren't as big, so you could actually look at a unit and ID who they were by their uniform combination. The base combination was the same, friend, foe, but the combinations below, as far as what they had available, they always made it consistent so that you would have no confusion in who to shoot. And to be quite honest, right now, most all Army types are tactical, phobics. So the neat thing is they all are wearing one complete camo top to bottom. You're not going to see anything like I'm talking about, which makes it very easy to shoot, no shoot, for the most part. Remember, we're still going to have confusion in the early days, and that's why we have to have better communications, because you're going to have units that have brought into virtually standard regime uniforms. And there, you better have a marker, or you better have an ID system that's going to allow you to be able to ID at distance with a quick, optical check, not just electronic, because electronic will get you killed. The U.S. military is using electronic friend-foe, or they're using optical/light friend-foe. We can mimic most of that. We can, but the big thing is we want something that is an object, physical, that allows us to absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt only our people could have that. So we either build it or we buy something that nobody's going to have any more of. I've got a couple things that we use, certain units, all my boys have used for as long, all the men that I've trained, and they're my men, all have certain pieces of equipment that nobody can access. There aren't any left. If they are, they're so outrageously expensive, ain't nobody going to buy them for tactical. They're collector's items. But I bought them back when they were pennies, and I have barrels full. So when a person is outfitted, understand there are certain things you never surrender, you never lose. This is yours. You're responsible for it. You're an adult. It's got to be on your gear. It has to be there for a reason. So that's one of the other techniques we have to take into consideration. Friend, foe, shoot, no shoot. And it's got to be quick. So for us, it's build, and that's where we are now. Helmet covers are my priority because that really, a bare-bone helmet, we just need the things to be softened up. Also, we got to watch that because the material we use, you brought up something there about curtains. Now, a lot of curtains are subdued. In fact, I wish I could find some of the polyglass curtains they used to make years ago. There was a really neat combination of fiberglass and actually, that might have even been Kevlar, but it used to be, they were home curtains. You also use them by law in theaters. Now, the material's a little heavier, would actually make a good assault smock, but what I wanted to do is check to see how it illuminates, because we have to be careful with that. But if it does, it's the equivalent to the anti-flame, flame-resistant / anti-flash cloth that we now see in the industry that is standard for the military. And there's a bunch of it out there. It's just, in fact, a lot of it.
Curtains.
Go ahead, jump in there.
Oh, just like welders' curtains are not
exactly,
flammable and heavy and maybe not reflective either.
Right, and again, it has to, and for a number of reasons, not the least of which is, again, harmful radiation spectrum and optical radiation spectrum issues. That's why you don't want it reflective, which is perfect for what we're talking about doing too. So one of the neat things is, again, the stuff is out there, but we need to track it down. I have one pile of theater curtains from a high school that one of our friends, our allies, bought, and they pulled everything out of the gymnasium. Well, the theater curtains were in there, so we actually have those. They're an earth brown. They're actually a perfect tactical color. They would make a good, again, for making assault smocks, they would be great. And again, they would also be, now here's another thing about that. For now, we're buying them, but if for the ones that are being built for reserve, those would be issued and would not go with the soldier if he was the militiaman, if he was transferred. Certain things are gifted to you. Example, we have a standard blade, which is a blade for life. Certain units make their own blades. The blade is numbered to you. The only person that could have that number is you. Now, the weapon can be passed on, but it has to be kind of registered passed on because it's a cadre thing. And that's one of the special parts of the order, as far as the organization you're with, that's yours for life. But as far as certain tactical items, They're issued to you while you're there. They'll be withdrawn. They'll be laundered. They'll be put in reserve, and they'll be waiting for the next man if you move on to some other project or process. We got to have a system, people.
Well, I found another thing for you.
Go ahead.
Sorry,
No,
I didn't mean to. Thought there was a break there. I found M1950 trouser suspender pants by the case, and by the case it looks like it comes down to $1 for suspender for the whole case. They have Alpenflage trousers for $12.99, and these M1951 trouser suspenders are $360 per case. That comes out to $1 per suspender.
What location?
And this is over at Army Surplus. Yeah, ArmySurplusWarehouse.com. ArmySurplusWarehouse.com. And I was looking through the clothing in there.
Excellent. Well, I'll go through it. We're almost to the top
Army
here. We're
Surplus.
getting pretty close.
Warehouse.com.
One of the things about the...
Well, I'm going to let you go. I hope I didn't tie you up. I just thought maybe...
No, this is a subject I wanted to talk about because...
I thought maybe you could get... Yeah, I thought maybe you could get a CNC kind of machine and just punch out maybe a 20 or 30 patterns at once and then just have somebody go to town stitching them up.
Well, you know what there is? Okay, we have one up north that we might be able to buy. There is a pattern cutter like that. We're literally, if anybody's been imprinting, it looks like a paper cutter. And it does exactly what you're describing. What happens is it cuts certain lines, and the only thing you got to watch it. The reason you get a lot of blems with certain companies, or you see blems, BLEMS, guys, blems, when they crush the cloth, if they aren't stacking, if they haven't first of all lined it up and flattened it properly, it crimps or pulls and miscuts the sizing. So they stitch all that stuff up, and a large is supposed to be a large, but unfortunately it's missing an inch. So it's not a large. And this happens on occasion, usually when they're in speed production, like I said. When these guys start to get tired, that's when boo-boos are made. And that's the only thing I'm concerned with the ammunition situation, to be quite honest. Guys, we're running an industry 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop. They can make $1 billion. You heard what he was saying. They got just one company has $1 billion back order that they can guarantee to sell. Well, you want to crank out and get that while the bleed is red. You want to hit that with a hammer now. Problem is, with every hour that you operate, if you do not hire additional personnel, you are fatiguing tradesmen. And that's where, one of the guys showed me when we had the big push there with Bummer. One guy had $27 a box, super Hydra, Shocky, blah, blah, blah ammunition, right? $27 for a 25-round box. And he hadn't opened the ammo up, which you wouldn't think to do, except that when he opened it up, there were 2 reverse primers in a $27 box of ammunition that was only 25 rounds. Quality control hadn't quite caught that, and they were in a hurry.
The price is going to get so bad that...
No, go ahead.
The price is going to get so bad that they're going to have people making fake ammunition without powder or with fake primers and stuff and selling it like they do with the fake gold coins.
Yeah, the biggest problem is going to be the idea of quality control or trying to cut back or skimp. One of the things I've mentioned before about wolf ammunition, okay? I was kind of joking, but if you watch one of the videos, I don't know if it's up on the Hutari page anymore, but it's one of the training days where we had several different brigades together, and they were doing a quick speed live fire nonstop with, probably about 100, 120 people. Well, most of the ammunition they were shooting was wolf, and it was about probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. As they're firing, the camera is at the west or east end of the range, and they're moving up through the doors, moving through the windows, doing what they're supposed to, and it was column after column. But when they were firing the wolf ammo, it was in the sunlight especially. It was somebody asked me, "What the hell are they firing? Black powder?" I said, "No, Russian low grade." And it became very apparent on the video. but you actually had puffs of smoke. Now, I'm not tell everybody, don't get upset, but understand that when this is happening, it's because like 22, the 22 ammo for all countries except for competition ammo. 22 is the cheapest of everything, the minimalist of lead, cheapest produced, no alloying if at all possible. It's a brass case or a steel case, depending on who made it. The Russians use steel. And the powder is the cheapest absolute flash powder they can make, and the Prima is the absolute cheapest paste they can put in that rimfire. Absolute cheapest. That's why it used to be the cheapest ammo to fire or run. Now, they really haven't changed anything on the quality of the product. It just costs a lot more for the same product now. But with Wolf and the others, you notice I don't say don't buy it. It's like, well, here's my point. They're probably going to know where you are for the most part. If you can put 2 bullets down range for the price of 1, you're still ahead of the game. The big thing is just understand and experiment with the conditions and see what your rounds are doing. When you train, pay attention to what you're doing when you do it. Don't just mindlessly pull the trigger and blaze down range at the target. You need observers, and you all need to be paying attention to coach your shooters, observe the weapons, and observe operations. You never know what you're going to discover. This is another part of the big plan, guys. Anyway, we are at the top here. One of the things about that company, real quick, when guys have been asking me about jerry can gaskets, guys, they have jerry can gaskets over at Surplus Army Warehouse, surplusarmywarehouse.com. If you wanted jerry can gaskets, they've got regular mill spec for the regular U.S. cans over at, one more time, armysurpluswarehouse.com. We're going to go to break. I'm going to have something to eat. God bless our republic.
Yep, that's the new world order.
We shall prevail, ladies and gentlemen.
Get
The empire is on the run.
And we are on the march, but day and night.
We're on the march both day and night.
Hoorah. And you're darn right. Actually, be ready, people. If they come out, which it's not an if, it's just a when. War has already been declared by the other side. Fox News decided it could go out of business at being the fake conservative company. What does that tell you? There was only one, and they decided they were told by their ring-knocking butt buddies, you can shut down because the big game is afoot. They're coming to play war on you. Let's be ready to play war on them. They're not playing, as they'll say they're not playing either. God bless you all. Back in 1 hour. Meanwhile, Ed taking over. Don't touch that dial. More live radio right now coming up here on LTR. God bless. Bye-bye.